What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Before we get into today's video, I have to say thank you. Since last week's video, we've soared past yet another milestone, and a big one at that. We've officially made the jump over 1,000 subscribers. This means a lot to me, that there are over 1,000 of you out there hungry to learn more about the usage of data analytics in player development. Once again, thank you all for the amazing support on this channel. We still have so much to cover, so here's my promise to you that a ton of new and awesome videos are on their way down the road. Now let's jump into today's video. It's easy to get lost in the massive amounts of data available to all of us coaches in today's game. And as we begin to turn the pages in our calendar, eventually our focus must shift. In collegiate baseball, as we transform our practice plans from the fall to the spring and inch closer and closer to opening day, there's one question that I have begun thinking to myself here recently. How do our development processes change in season versus out of season? So that's what today's video is all about. Before we jump into it, welcome back to another video, guys. If you're new here and you're a coach, player, or trainer interested in learning more about the practical applications of data-driven baseball, you've come to the right place. Join the movement now by clicking the subscribe button down below for more weekly baseball animations. Before we can jump into it, we need to talk about some of the similarities and differences in the player development processes from collegiate to professional baseball. There are a ton of places where these two professions overlap. The technology, the actual game being played, and a higher level of athletes expected as you move up. But there are also some major differences, especially in the player development process. So what are they? Let's start with the setup of pro ball. The biggest difference is that every single day, starting in spring training, these guys are playing games. And that's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but in terms of the player development process, there's less time to make major changes to these guys. As analytics begin to play more and more of a role in the player analysis realm, you'd hope that you don't take on any guys who need a major remodel. But these guys are evaluated once they are in the organization on their performance. Can the dude play? And if the answer to this question is yes, those are the guys who get paid. However, in this video, we're going to mainly focus on the collegiate side of the ball. In this model of play, athletes have a full 6 months to make changes to their delivery, their swing. They're allowed to work hard in the weight room and prepare for the change of seasons from fall to spring. In the fall, you can focus on all of these analytics and make those changes with less consequences, as guys won't necessarily lose trust if they don't see immediate results on the field. Then, as we transition into the spring, the guys should be focused on one thing: winning games. So let's talk about that. So what does off-season player development look like to me? Well, as we've talked about on this channel before, this is a time where you can utilize all of the technology available to you in order to collect data and analyze that player's performance. And yes, I did just use a floppy disk on a channel all about advanced analytics. As coaches, we are able to focus on some of the finer details that can improve players' overall performance in the long run. There are 4 main things that I focus on in the off-season, the first being the collection of data. You need a certain sample size of data before you can begin making suggestions to an athlete. Then, you must do your research and interpret what all of this data means, what's important to you, and finally, you must apply it to make changes on the field. One effective way to do this is to utilize the test-retest model, where you have certain goals in place to make the changes you're looking for. Whether that is mobility goals, strength goals, velocity goals, or pitch design goals, you don't know if you're getting any better unless you keep track. It's as simple as that. I've said this a couple times before on this channel, but in a video about off-season player development, I have to say it again. Utilizing these strategies is all about taking athletes who are entering in at their floor, untrained and hungry to hit the field, to their ceiling, or at least closer to it. Utilizing technology is then like getting to use a calculator on a math exam. It gives you some shortcuts on what to actually focus on and what actually needs work in order to get these guys up to their ceiling come the season when it actually matters. All that you do in the fall is about improving your athlete's ceiling, and it's about turning all of that hard work into wins once you get into the season. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Now on to in-season training. How is it different? Well, once we hit opening weekend, it's go time. Your focus should shift from nitpicking each guy's flaws to pumping up and utilizing their strengths. This isn't to say you're not collecting, interpreting, and applying the data anymore, because it's important to keep tabs on guys. This way you can step in to do some maintenance work if a guy claims that he's struggling with his slider. But the mentality is completely different in the spring. In the fall, we focus truly internally. We work on pitch design, utilize K-Vest to try and remap guys' kinematic sequences. We focus on building good pre- and post-throwing routines, and on getting stronger. It's all about getting guys in the best position possible for them to compete in the spring. Then as we transition into the spring, that list gets a lot shorter. Our goals shift from internal player development to executing what we have and winning. We can still utilize all of this data in-game to produce in-depth scouting reports to up your chances at coming home each day with a W. And see my last video if you're interested in seeing what I recommend for the scouting process. And that's a major difference between collegiate and pro ball, like we talked about at the beginning of this video. The external part is going to be what gets you paid. And the better you do, the more zeros will end up on your guys' signing bonus. But to me, the internal focus on putting guys in their best position to succeed actually plays a bigger role in seeing success on the field than most people may realize. But that's my opinion, and why I'm a guy who's in love with the player development process. But you may still ask questions, and that's the benefit that I've seen as we continue to grow this community. To the now over 1,000 of you, each and every one of you have great opinions, and I always want to hear what you have to say. This channel is meant to be a two-way road of communication, and I do my best to respond to every comment or Twitter DM that I receive. So please, don't hesitate to reach out. I want to hear what you guys think. It helps me grow as a person too. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. If you liked today's video or you just want to support the channel, please leave a like down below. Leave a comment with any questions or suggestions for a future video, and subscribe for more weekly baseball animations posted every Wednesday.